The ARCA race has officially concluded for Michigan International Speedway, and Brendan Butterbean Queen holds off a hard-charging Corey Heim to pick up his third win of 2025. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching the ARCA race in Michigan International Speedway. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So at the start of the race, you have Brendan Queen on the inside and Gio Ruggiero on the outside. And Brendan Queen got a fantastic start and was able to clear for the race lead. There were some really good battles in the middle of the pack early in the event, but in the early portion of the race, Brendan Queen's car was very, very good on the short run and would pull away from the rest of the field. But as the run progressed and went on, Gio Ruggiero, who was back in third or fourth position early in the run, got by Corey Heim around lap number 20 of the event, and he started charging after Brendan Butterbean Queen and was running him down very, very quickly. And it was cutting it down maybe a couple tenths every lap. Then he was cutting it down 8 or 9 tenths every lap. But by the time he got to the first ARCA break, he ran out of time to get there. The first caution would come out lap number 35 for the ARCA break. Everyone would then come down pit road with Brendan Queen restarting on the inside with Gio Ruggiero on the outside. And they put on a really good showing battle for the next lap or so. But Gio Ruggiero got a great run on the outside, and he was able to take the race lead for Brendan Queen. And Brendan Queen would fall back a little bit. But unlike the lead that Brendan got early in the last run, Gio never really could get that big lead until we got to the latter portion of the run. But then all of a sudden, as the run progressed and went on, we were starting to see Brendan Queen close the gap on Gio Ruggiero. And that gap was closing into about a second. It was gaining a couple tenths every lap due to lap traffic. But as the run progressed and went on, he started pulling away again. And by the time he got to the second ARCA break of the event, Gio Ruggiero would continue having the race lead. Everyone would then come down pit road, make their adjustments on the cars. We got to the final restart of the race with around 28 or 29 laps to go, with Brendan Butterbean Queen on the outside, with Gio Ruggiero on the inside. And Gio got a decent restart going into turn number 1. They got really good pushes coming down the front straightaway. But Gio Ruggiero would get tight. There'd be a little bit of contact between Gio and Brendan Butterbean Queen going down the back straightaway. There would be a little contact, and Gio would go up the track a little bit, and Brendan was able to get the race lead. And it seemed like the tightness from Gio Ruggiero's car would not get any better as Gio would slice up the racetrack and would get in the outside wall and lose a ton of track position and a ton of ground. He would drop only back to 4th position because of that, and Corey Heim and Lawless Allen were able to get by. Lawless and Corey would actually put on a really good battle for second position once this happened, but Corey Heim was able to move up to second position. Now I'm thinking at this point, Brendan Butterbean Queen is probably going to run away with this thing, and he's probably going to have a big lead, right? Wrong. Corey Heim's car was starting to come into play. That number 25 car, which of course he was substituting for Jake Finch, who unfortunately had an illness and something else going on. Unfortunately for him, was not behind the wheel of the car. Corey Heim was substituting today. And Corey was doing whatever he could to try to close that gap in on Brennan. And he was gaining a couple tenths every single lap once he got by Lawless Allen. He cut the gap down to a second. Then he cut the gap down to 8 tenths of a second. Then every lap he was gaining a little bit because Brennan's car on the long run was not as good. And with around 15 laps score, about 10 laps to go in this race, Corey Heim would make a move to the inside, trying to get the race lead from Brennan, but was not able to get by, and Brennan held him off. And unfortunately for Corey, because of the dirty air, he lost 4 or 5 tenths of a second and dropped back to being nearly a second behind. And once again, he would start gaining a little bit of ground as the run went on, but then he lost some of that ground as it kind of happened. But everything would change late in this event. With around 5 or 6 laps to go in the race, Brennan would catch a couple lap cars. First catching Ryan Roulette, and then Caleb Koster. As he was trying to get by Ryan Roulette, who was 4 laps down at the time, he came down the racetrack. They seemed like to try to block him, which I really didn't understand. If you're a lap car in this race, especially when you're not 1 lap down, you're 2 or 3 laps down, and you're not going to gain any more ground in this race, don't try to block the leader. I think that was a really bad move on Roulette's part. Because of that, Brennan lost about 5 or 6 tenths of his lead that he had. Then they came up to Caleb Koster, and instead of Koster going to the bottom of the racetrack, getting out of the way with the battle for the win, he came up in front of Brendan Butterbean Queen, and he lost a little bit more time. This will allow Corey Heim to close in for the race lead. And coming to 2 laps to go in the event, Corey Heim was about 3 or 4 tenths of a second behind and was gaining a ton of ground. And as it came to white flag of the event, going into 1, Corey Heim tried to make the move to the inside and tried to get the race lead from Brendan, but Brendan got a really good run down the backstretch and pulled away a little bit. And going into turn number 3, Corey Heim would try one last time to get by Brendan, but will run out of time as Brendan holds off a hard-charging Corey Heim to pick up his 3rd ARCA victory in 2025 and his 3rd career ARCA race win. Huge congratulations to Brendan Butterbean Queen. In my opinion, he had the best short run car. His long run speed was not as strong as other drivers in the field, but his short run speed, you gotta admit, was really, really strong. And this is now win number 3 for Brendan Butterbean Queen this season. He has had a lot of pace and a lot of speed so far this year in 2025. He probably should have more wins so far this year. He's been doing a really impressive job. He's my pick to win the championship. I believe he's back with the points lead. Did a fantastic job today. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's got a lot of potential to move up and do some stuff. And you think about him beating guys like Corey Heim, who are some of the best drivers and best prospects out there, who many believe should be in the Cup Series right now. What I think Brendan did today was very, very impressive. So nonetheless, congratulations to him on picking up a well-deserved win and a well-deserved victory. Very impressive run from Brendan Butterbean Queen to get that 3rd win and 2nd straight year for the team winning here, considering Connor Zilish picked up the win last year in this event. So now we're going ahead and take a look at the race results. I'll give my score and thoughts on today's race. So Brendan Butterbean Queen picks up the win. Corey Heim finished the 2nd. Great run for Corey Heim. This is a last-minute thing. Really never got a chance and opportunity to get it shut down until today. Did a really good job. Despite that, looked like he was going to go to victory lane. Just ran out of time to get there. But still, fantastic run for Corey. He'll be able to use experience in the Truck Series race tomorrow. Great run from Corey Heim of Venturini. He finishes 2nd. Lawless Allen finishes 3rd. Good run for Lawless Allen. Solid day for him. Ran top 5 the whole entire race. Ran no worse than 34th all day. That car was really, really good, especially on the long run. I think he's been doing a pretty solid job of Venturini this year. Not going out there contending for wins every week, even though he did win Talladega. But so a solid day for him. He finishes in 3rd. Gio Ruggiero finishes 4th. I think most of the day he had probably the fastest car outside of Brendan. Unfortunately, he just had got in the outside wall and never could get the speed and momentum back up to contend for the overall victory. But he's going to use that experience from the race today in the Truck Series race tomorrow. Good run for him nonetheless. He finishes in 4th. LeVar Scott finished 5th. Solid day for him. Hasn't had race-winning speed most of the year so far. Just saw a top 5 run though. Not great, not bad. Solid day though inside the top 5. Thad Moffitt finished 6th. Solid top 10 run for him. He ran as high as 4th or 5th. Lost a little bit track position near the end of the race. Dropped back and faded a little bit. He finished in 6th. Tyler Wright finished 7th. Not a bad day for him for his first intermediate race. Not a bad day for him. Jason Kitzmiller finished 8th. Pretty solid run for him. Isabel Robusto finished 9th. I gotta be honest, I've been a little disappointed in some of the performances she's had so far this year. She just did not have the speed after qualifying on the front row. I really thought she'd be a factor today for a fantastic performance, and she just hasn't been a major factor in a lot of races so far this year. I don't know if it's a Venturini Motorsports issue or something, but it's been a little disappointing. Hope she could turn the corner and get it wins. I think she's got potential to do that. Eloy Falcon finishes in 10th. Solid day for him. Caleb Koster finished 11th. 12th placer Ryan Roulette. 13th place finisher Morgan Baird. 14th place finisher Regina Serban. She, of course, making her ARCA debut. Not a bad day for her inside the top 15 for a legacy motor as well. So decent run for her. Michael Maples finished 15th. Andy Jankowiak finished 16th. He ran top 10 majority of this race, but had a fuel pressure issue near the end of the event, and the car kept shutting off throughout the race. Cost him a shot, a great finish. He still finished 16th. Derek White finished 17th. Cole Raz finished 18th. He was running in the top 10, but he had major problems and mechanical issues that took him out of contention. It seems like every time he's behind the wheel, something goes wrong with that car. Tough break for him. He finishes in 18th. Braden Lasser finished 19th. Alex Clubb finished 20th. 21st place finisher Brad Smith. 22nd place finish for Tony Constantino. 23rd place finisher Mike Basham. 24th place finish for Jeffrey Maxing. 25th place finisher Matt Kemp, 26th place finisher Jeff McConey, and finishing last in 27th place is Nate Muller. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole. I'll give my score and thoughts on today's race. So I will say, majority of this race, I gotta be honest, was pretty much just a straight up event. It was very hard to pass, you can definitely tell, and once the leader got up front, you really couldn't catch him. I gotta be honest, it was kind of a little bit of a snooze fest in the first 2/3 of the race. Yes, of course, you had a really good battle in the middle of the race once it got back to the restart, but it wasn't very competitive after that. I did Fox at some points, though, did a decent job showing some of those battles, considering there wasn't really a reason to focus on the leader. And I think the finish really salvaged this race quite a bit, because before the finish, the score for this race is probably going to be like a 3 or 4. My score of today's race is probably going to be like a 6, because the finish was really, really fun. I think the last 10 to 15 laps especially was really intriguing and very, very fun to watch. Yes, like I mentioned, it was very difficult to pass, but you had a pretty solid and pretty good finish at the end of this race. You had a good battle between two of the best drivers in this country. I think it was a solid race, all things considered. Because of that, my score for today's ARCA race is going to be around a 5.5 5.5 to 6 out of 10. I don't think the finish really salvaged the whole race altogether, but I think it was a solid race as a whole. My score because of that is going to be a 6 out of 10. A decent race, well, 5.5 out of 10, I should say. A decent race for the Sanders, but not a great race because I think ARCA needs some work to do to get the racing product a lot better. So, that is going to be it for the ARCA race review from Michigan. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are thoughts on today's ARCA race? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and congratulate Brendan Butterbean Queen on picking up the win. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow morning on the channel, we're going to have reactions to NASCAR Cup Series qualifying for the Firekeepers Casino 400 at Michigan. We're also going to have the Truck Series race be in the early afternoon. Then, of course, on Sunday, we're going to have the starting lineup video for the Firekeepers Casino 400, and we're also going to have the Cup review from that, depending on the weather. And we also should have a Shane Van Gisbergen video dropping as well. We've got a Dodge announcement coming. Cletus Safari might be involved in that. And we also might have a NASCAR news video dropping as well on Monday. We got content coming in people like Haley Dean, Shane Van Gisbergen, Cards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Chase Elliott, other people in the industry like Dodge, Carson Quaffle, other people, of course, in trucks like Lane Riggs and Chandler Smith and Eric Amarola, among other things. We'll talk about all this kind of stuff on the channel in the coming days and weeks. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.